Go into it real quick. I'm just going to type this in right here. We're just going to look at it. And we're hoping to see 400 billion. That's the goal. That is the, what is going on? Hold up. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm broke. Maxed out all my credit cards. I used my student loan for this. Crypto's a scam. I don't have any more money. I just wanted to buy the dip. Hodl. They told me to hodl. I should have sold this in December. Oh no, keep buying the dip. Keep buying the dip. If you keep buying the dip, dollar cost averaging. That's all a lie. They lied. I'm getting a 401k, but I'm tired of this. I'm about to go back to work. God, I don't have anything left.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So yes, we had a little bit of a funny intro, but you have to be able to sometimes just laugh at things, laugh at yourself. Don't take everything so seriously, although it is difficult when it is your money. I do understand. However, I do want to say that it was really crazy. We have had an insane past couple of days. I literally went to sleep. I woke up. Boom, we were all the way down at the bottom. And then just today, I was having lunch with my dad down at the riverfront. We were just enjoying the day. I checked my phone. Boom, we're back up again. Crazy, crazy crypto, guys. So I just wanted to say, for everyone that came out yesterday, thank you so much. I really enjoyed the live stream. It was really, really fun. And I want to say, guys, I do apologize for the really crappy audio quality. I was using my AirPods for the first time ever live. I didn't have everything synced up properly on top of the fact that the internet kept cutting out. So my apologies. Totally got all the kinks worked out. That will not be the case next time. That being said, I wanted to dive a little bit into the market today. If we give it a quick refresh, we will see that we're actually up. And before I started this video, I refreshed it as well. So literally in the past 5-6 minutes, the market has gone up about $6 billion. So that's $1 billion a minute. That's how fast this market moves. Crazy, guys. So we are seeing a little bit of a resurgence. That's a good thing. We're seeing Bitcoin dominance pull down just a little bit as well. So we were at the beginning of the week sitting around, actually just below 40%, and now we're sitting at 41, but we're pulling back a little bit, which means that you may see some of those Bitcoin dominance pullbacks being distributed into the alts. So that's pretty good news for alt holders today. Now let's talk about one of the issues that was happening, one of the big stories. So Mt. Gox will compensate $1 billion in Bitcoin, but will not sell until 2019. So if you guys don't know about the big Mt. Gox hack, I mean, most of us know about it by now, but if you don't, there was 800,000 Bitcoin that were stolen from the account, from the exchange. It was a really, really huge deal, destroyed the market back in the day. People just completely lost faith in everything. So basically, a lot of people have been worried about all of this Bitcoin and then the subsequent Bitcoin Cash that was forked off of it that's now in the wallet of this trustee of Kobayashi. So he's the infamous Mt. Gox Trustee, right? So he actually released a document. Now this is the document right here. I'll leave a link in the description if you guys are interested in checking it out. But essentially what that says was that they are at the start of what they're referring to as the civil rehabilitation process, which will temporarily pause Mt. Gox's ongoing bankruptcy court case, assuring that all debts are paid before the continuation of the bankruptcy proceedings. So, long story short, what does that mean? Well, it means those who are affected have until October 22nd in order to basically make any claims over their Bitcoin. So the distribution of the Bitcoin owed won't happen until Q1 of next year. This delay, albeit 8 to 9 months, should help to reduce any risk of the propagation of the bearish price movements seen at the start of the year till now. So I think this is good news because this is going to prevent more dumping of this infamous Bitcoin stash. So that was kind of the first thing that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, here it is right here. But getting back to sort of talking about what has been happening recently, what's been going on with Bitcoin, and what's been going on with cryptos in general. Well, I mean, clearly, guys, if we zoom out a little bit, I don't do any TA on this channel really, but clearly we were in a speculative, I mean, if you want to call it a bubble, call it a bubble. I don't know what you want to call it. I mean, has it officially burst? I don't know. We're down like, 75%. Almost. If we go to 5 grand, that's 75%. So slightly less than that. But what it was people putting their money into things that they really didn't understand. There was a lot of promises, right? A lot of tech that was going to be revolutionary and change the world and this and that. So everyone was just kind of throwing their money into anything. I'm guilty as charged. We're all guilty as charged, okay? We were all there, and if you weren't, especially if you came afterwards, I can understand the pain that you're going through. However, the reason that I still believe in this as a whole is because I think that this is more of just a purge. You know what I'm saying? I think this is just a time to just wash out all those projects. This is the problem right here. This is the problem, guys. Right here. 1,586 cryptocurrencies. That's the problem, guys. There's way too many tokens, way too many cryptos. Now, I know some people might disagree with me and say, no, that's the future. We're going to tokenize everything. Yeah, I don't mind if we tokenize everything. That's fine. I mean, self-sell is tokenizing people. Fine. But the problem is that they cannot all have these ridiculously high valuations. There can't be 10 to 12 to 15, 20 different people all doing the exact thing. I understand that in the background, there are going to be different camps, different groups, different developers all working towards the same solution, right? But the amount of money that's getting thrown into these projects for what value they're actually providing, it's not working. You're putting the carriage ahead of the horse is essentially what you're doing. You are. And what happened was the tech did not catch up to the price. And because of that, well, we know the rest of the story. What I think is as time goes by, especially throughout the end of this year into the next year, I think that we're really going to be looking more towards value. We're going to be looking more towards projects that are providing something, that are solving a problem, not just creating a problem out of thin air and then hypothetically solving the problem that wasn't really a problem, but we're going to just say it was a problem so that we can solve the problem that never needed solving, and then we'll just take your money. Boom, right? Because that's what they're doing. So that's one issue that we're having as well. Getting that out of the way, I think everybody understands that now it's time to just shut up, get down to business, and make things work. Here's another problem that we're having as well. So this is consumers' reasons for not trading cryptocurrencies in 2017. Maybe things have changed now. I don't know. This is a little bit older. This comes from SOA Labs, and this was in Business Insider Intelligence. So look at the top reasons. So you have 44% saying, I don't trust cryptocurrencies exchanges, 39% saying cryptocurrencies are too risky. Top 2 reasons why people don't want to get involved in crypto. Way too risky, or they don't trust cryptocurrencies exchanges. That's huge, guys. So you have more people saying that even though the dollar is corrupt and it's backed by nothing and the Federal Reserve basically can just do whatever they want, they're actually more comfortable with that system. Because even here, well, they say the FDIC federally insures you up to $250,000. So that's a lot more comforting. And you know what? A lot of people are lazy. Let's just be honest. I don't want to have to take care of my private keys. I don't want any more responsibility. I'm already busy. I have a day job. I have children. I have a family. I got to take care of this and that. And I got to meet these deadlines. And now I got to be my own bank too, right? So that's the problem. People are worried and they don't feel safe, right? So that's number one. So we need to figure out how can we make this a much easier, safer experience. Second problem, I don't have enough know-how on cryptocurrencies, okay? That's 36%. Then you have it's too complicated, 19%. And then you have 10% saying it's too complicated to open a new account. So then you have all these people basically saying they don't know how to get involved. It's tough, okay? I think that signing up on Coinbase is relatively easy. My dad, he still hasn't signed up his account yet. Now, you would think that, well, you know, K-Dub, why don't you just get him signed up? Well, he actually still has to go to the bank. He still has to get online banking. He still doesn't have online banking. So it's crazy to think that, you know, here I am making these cryptocurrency videos, and like my own dad still doesn't have a cryptocurrency account yet on Coinbase. Crazy, right? But this is the reality that we live in. Then you have people saying that the fees are too high. Some people saying they had a bad experience. 3% saying I don't like to make such decisions by myself. Well, you should learn to make decisions by yourself. That's part of growing up. So these are issues that we're seeing as well. Now let's talk a little bit about Coinbase, because right, Coinbase is basically the bottleneck service. It's what we're all using. That's how we're getting in and how we're getting out. You know, I'm not a fan of it, but it's helpful. So here's some issues that you have right here. Coinbase has horrible customer service. Let's be honest, guys. There's so many complaints right here if you guys want to kind of read it. So you have people saying they have trouble accessing their funds. People have been locked out of their accounts, not being able to access their funds, even trading within the accounts from one Coinbase account to another Coinbase account using emails. That's supposed to be totally free, right? So the problem is that Coinbase's user growth seems to be outpacing its resources. This is a big problem. If Coinbase is the first entity, the first onboard ramp that you ever set foot in when you're doing crypto, right? That's your first exposure to cryptocurrency. And they have the worst customer support on the planet, not answering emails. Their phone service is literally basically non-existent, okay? That is a problem. What signal are you sending to people getting involved in crypto when Coinbase, which is the biggest onboarding ramp, especially in the US, has such horrible, horrible service, right? So they should start fixing their service as well. That's a big problem. Then you have that issue of centralized exchanges. Centralized exchanges have issues. They are in full control of their funds the moment a trader begins to make a deposit on the exchange. They also act as their own clearing houses that provide order matching, clearing and settlement services. With this infrastructure, traders must fully trust the exchange to not only store their assets securely from both external and internal threats, but also facilitate trades that take place. The hot wallets they use to store their customers' digital assets make it possible for hackers to actually hack these centralized exchanges. Binance even got hacked. We've had BitThumb getting hacked, CoinRail, BitGrail, what was the other one? The one that had all the NEM hack, whatever that was, okay? So this is an issue that we're having. So what you're seeing is they're saying without a change in the underlying infrastructure of these exchanges, similar types of hacks are going to occur in the future. So what is the solution? Well, decentralized exchanges, right? But hold on, guys. We can't even get people to use Coinbase because of the terrible service, and they're scared because some people are getting locked out. Now you want them to use decentralized exchanges? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. Now, let's say hypothetically we do actually get to the point where we start using decentralized exchanges. Well, they have no liquidity, right? And also, they don't offer the features of centralized services. So, for example, they lack fiat to crypto trading pairs. That's a huge factor for entry-level traders wishing to deposit or withdraw fiat or using their credit or debit card. With a smaller audience of users, trading volumes of cryptocurrencies are usually very low. With low liquidity, markets can become extremely volatile, causing prices to become unstable, especially when traders place large orders. Decentralized exchanges only support basic trading functions. They lack advanced trading functionalities such as margin trading, stop-loss orders, and limit orders. As of right now, I don't know. There could be a decentralized exchange out there that's figuring out how to do that. But currently, that's an issue that we're having. So we need to look for these types of solutions out there. So thankfully, there are companies out there. For example, I just recently looked into this company. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's DAEX. I think it's just called DEX, but with an A. So it says the solution is essentially an ecosystem that separates digital asset registration, trade matching, asset clearing, and asset settlement in a decentralized way. So traders will be able to benefit from experiencing several advantages that centralized exchanges currently offer, such as advanced trading features, high liquidity, fiat to crypto trading, and more. The clearing of trades will take place on the DEX blockchain, which is a separate clearing chain. Centralized exchanges who join the ecosystem will therefore be able to focus on their core competencies and areas that help scale their businesses. Now, another one that I also wanted to bring up as well was Loopring. I recently did an interview with Daniel Wang. So when you talk about the lack of liquidity on these decentralized exchanges, which is a huge pet peeve of mine, because if I want to sell a large amount, I literally can't get my order filled. So the problem is you get in cheap, you buy this crypto, and then you have literally no way to... Excuse me, guys, I had to just sneeze. And then you literally have no way of selling it. So that's a huge problem. You literally can't get your orders filled. So what do? Well, you either sit there and you just sell a little bit, wait for somebody else to kind of put in an order that you're comfortable with, sell it right there, right? Or you either crash the order book or spike the order book up, and either way, that's not good. So those are the issues as well. And then finally, we come to the big bad guy, the one that we've all been talking about. Get rich quick. ICOs, bro, buy this ICO. You're going to become a millionaire overnight. Right. Greed. Greed is a big issue that we've seen lately. I'm going to drop this into the description if you want. The two key paragraphs that I wanted to bring to you was there is a dangerous gravity to this system. Every investor wants to get in on the next Bitcoin or Ethereum trading at 10 cents and think that at the same time they're making the world a better place. Every startup with a big idea wants to bring a ton of money so they can build a big successful business. Everybody wants to make a fortune capitalizing on the energy of the market. But eventually, there will be a reckoning, whether that's through the crackdown of regulators or some significant market event. Even for the VC firms who profit at the expense of the everyday Joe, the everyday average guy. The money coming in is too good to be true, and it will not last forever. Eventually, the public will realize that the insiders they were following have broken their trust. The cardinal sin of blockchain. So that is also something that I wanted to talk about as well. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you do have to wonder when it comes to these ICOs, when it comes to these startups hoarding all the Ethereum, what are they doing to the price? And then the other thing is, why do they have to keep all this Ethereum? If the Ethereum is just going to be used for fundraising and your token starts to fall, your token is supposed to be the one that you value the most, correct? But yet it seems like the Ethereum is really, the Ether is really what they're hoarding. And these get-rich-quick ICO flips, they are definitely hurting the market. We've seen them. I'm not going to go into these projects recently. I actually have a few interviews coming up where we sort of discuss these things as well. So, moving on to other things. So, you have Mike Butcher. He did an interview, he's from TechCrunch, and he did an interview with Cointelegraph. And this is what he had to say. So, they said that what you mean is that you can read Medium and other blog articles, but you need to be very cautious about making investment decisions. Same thing with these ICOs, same things with these Ponzi's, BitConnects, PlexCoin, all of that stuff, okay? He says, absolutely. I mean that it's always out there, isn't it? Checks and balances. Always do your own research. Even the most sophisticated investors today find it difficult to understand what is going on, and many of them are extremely cautious. Actually, they operate much more cautiously than the average person. So, and I think what's going to happen is that if more problems continue to happen, then regulators will come in. Then there actually will be some heavy-handing regulation, and some of the more innovating aspects of what has happened in the last few years may be stamped on. It might change. So it's up to the industry to get its own house in order. In other words, we need to figure this out. We need to stop bickering. We need to stop saying my coin is better than your coin, because you go on Reddit, you go on Twitter, and lately it's just a whole battle of, well, my coin only lost 2%, your coin lost 14%, my coin is better. There's no actual validation behind anything except, so anyway, let me just continue on a little bit more. So you have Brian Kelly from CNBC, which, I know, nobody really takes CNBC that seriously, but he's been basically saying that the current bear market is not a funeral for Bitcoin whatsoever. And I do agree with this as well. I don't think that this is the funeral for Bitcoin. I think that we are certainly in an extremely, I wouldn't say it's a prolonged bear market in compared to what we've seen in the past. And people that have been comparing this to other crashes, I just want to say one thing real quick, okay? These other crashes, let's see, these ones, I don't know why I can't go back. So these little crashes that happened way back here, they talk about the ones that happened back in, I don't know why I can't do this. You know what? I am just going to go here because it's easier. So some of the crashes that had happened back in the day, like the one that we'd seen back here, and then the little ones in here, they were not as massive as the ones that we've seen now. Although percentage-wise they may have been, you're talking, going from, I don't know, a $16 billion market cap to a $4 billion market cap. Yeah, that was a lot when you were talking percentages, whatever, but when you're going from an $800 billion market cap all the way down to a $240 billion market cap, yeah, percentages may be the same, but that's a lot of money, guys. That is a lot of freaking money. So it's actually funny because even since just yesterday, Bitcoin has died another 4 times. So yes, it was at 300 in the beginning of the week, then it was 5 overnight, and then 4 since yesterday. So everyone's down, everyone's doom and gloom, everyone's saying Bitcoin's dying. That's the overall sentiment that's going on right now. So we are seeing an issue. And one of the things I also wanted to talk about was, are we becoming too centralized? So you have Bitmain, okay, BTC.com, and Antpool basically being essentially the affiliate of them, and they also have strong ties with via BTC as well. So that could say that, is there too much centralization? So there was this, oh, there you go. You want to donate to the World Coin Network? I just gave you guys a free donation link. No, but seriously. So they had this video that they came out with earlier, and I started thinking about that. And do we eventually just ruin everything? So basically, in a nutshell, I'm just going to summarize this video. And I know today's episode is a little long, guys. I get it, but I'm not going to be around next week, so I figured I'd give it all I got today. So basically, what they talked about was they spoke about the invention of the newspaper, right? And when the newspaper first came out, it was like fully, everybody had it. It was full democracy for everybody. It was completely fair. Everyone could just print something up and hand it out on the sidewalk, and there you go. But eventually, companies started to conglomerize it, right? They started owning all the newspapers. It started getting very centralized. And then the news started getting very centralized. And then newspapers, the little guys, they really couldn't get out to the public anymore. Then they talk about radio, which is where we're at right now in the video. Originally, anybody that had an antenna, some tech, some electronics in their house, you could essentially just start your own radio station. But then you had the big guys come in, like I don't know, CBS or whoever was buying them out back in the day. I don't even know. So they were doing that as well, right? So that became centralized. Then television came out. Originally, you guys, see what I'm saying here? They all look the internet, right? How did the internet start out? Completely decentralized. Now, totally centralized, right? I have to go through Verizon, or you got to go through Comcast, or you got to go through these other things. And, eventually they're looking to potentially repeal net neutrality. What would that do? So the question is this also happening to Bitcoin as well? Are we allowing these bigger whales, these bigger players buying over the counter? Are we allowing them to become centralized, to take control over everything? I don't know. That's something we need to consider. So that's basically all I wanted to talk about. I'll drop a link also in the description to this video. It's just a standard video where they talk about everything, but the intro I was really impressed with. So if you guys are interested, check this video out. Just watch the intro where he talks about the evolution of centralization and all that kind of stuff. Really cool. So that's really all I wanted to say about that. That's kind of my 2 Satoshis on the whole thing. So I think we really need to bind together, focus on the things that have real world use cases, try to get some of that greed out of the way a little bit. It's difficult though. Humans are very greedy people. So let's talk about what's been going on in the markets today. You have a little bit of news. Let's kind of just talk about the news real quick, right? So Dan Larimer kind of having a rebuttal to the people that were freaking out about the accounts being frozen. He was saying that 3 of 5 parties are able to freeze Ethereum accounts by vote simply by rejecting transactions and blocks that include transactions. Under the Ethereum agreement, an arbitration order from ICC can compel them to. It takes 21 of 21 parties on EOS. From the Ethereum constitution, calls for arbitration. Ethereum also supports freezing and reversing of transactions and has done so. Ethereum is governed by use of centralized trademarks held by a single entity. So that was Dan Larimer's rebuttal to that. This brings me back to my point. My coin is better than your coin, and your coin has, right? So this is the issue. We are not working together. We're still fighting each other. And this was actually an interesting thing. So this came out from Moseth on Reddit, and he or she says, was an EOS supporter until the mods started to censor my post about the fishy things going on between ECAF, block producers, and their constitution. Also, block producers are lying to community that they are using super expensive hardware and whatnot. They are earning $10,000 per day for running these nodes on cloud servers, which would cost them roughly $5,000 a month. And they make a list right here saying Bitfinex, EOS New York, EOS Seoul, Canon, EOS Cafe, whatever. So they're saying Google Cloud, Amazon Web Services, Alibaba, Google Cloud, AWS, Google Cloud, AWS, Beijing Cloud Arc Technology, Alibaba, Google Cloud, AWS, Google Cloud. So how are you getting what I'm trying to say? So he says, how did I check this? He said, look at their peering endpoint, find the IP addresses of each endpoint, and then use maxmine.com to find out who owns each of those IP addresses. You can find IPs by looking at the bp.json. So essentially, this is it over here. You would just put the IP address in here, and then it would tell you where that IP address is coming from. So that's how this person came to their conclusions. I personally have not tried this, but that is what they are saying. So that was the issue that came out of that camp. So that is what I'm talking about when it comes to just bickering, maybe not being 100% transparent. I don't know, guys. I almost hate even talking about the EOS debacle anymore because so many people have so many opinions. I'm sure someone's going to leave a thumbs down based on that, which is exactly what I'm talking about. We need to be more constructive about it. We need to actually write comments in the description below, have conversations with our peers, join Telegram chats, join AMAs, send your questions out. If you have a problem with a wallet, tell the developers, tell the administrators of the Telegram community, right? Get involved. But the other thing too is you are seeing on the bright side, crypto tourism is growing. So that's a good thing. You're seeing Crypto Nation, Blockchain Cruise, Crypto Cribs, and these are just several names of tourism programs focused on the blockchain industry. So from anything from luxury cruises to the Middle East to crypto curious travelers. So this is really awesome. You're seeing a lot of these things move as well. You know, you are seeing Travala roll out from Neo where they're trying to get blockchain-based travel, okay? There are companies trying to do that, but a lot of dApps they just get shut down. As soon as you talk about a blockchain, you talk about an infrastructure, you talk about an ecosystem, all right, cool. You talk about a dApp, and everyone's like, ew, why are you shilling me that dApp, bro? It'll never work. All right, I'm not going to say it will or it won't because we've seen how many dApps fail. A lot. I'm not even going to name them. But my question is, what do you guys think we're going to do with all these blockchains, right? Like, eventually you have to start building on top of them. Isn't that the point? So I wouldn't say that all dApps are garbage. I just say most of them do not deliver on their promises. Let's just say that. But eventually there's going to be that dApp. There is. There's going to be that next Facebook. There's going to be that next Uber. There's going to be that next whatever, eBay, right? So these are things that are going to be happening moving forward. Another thing I wanted to just say really cool, the Bahamas has announced that they're developing a native cryptocurrency. A digital Bahamian, is that what you would say it? Currency is especially important for the many family islands. Many commercial banks downsize and pull out of their communities, leaving them without banking services. This is something that we've seen. So we sit here, we're all pissed off about the decrease in Bitcoin, right? Oh, we're 75% down. I hate this. This is terrible. Well, tell that to a Venezuelan family who just lost 99.99 repeating percent of all their money that they had because of the way that their government is handling something. So if a Venezuelan had the opportunity of owning their native currency, which literally lost over 99% of its value, versus Bitcoin, which only lost just slightly under 75%, these guys would actually go with the Bitcoin. So when you really look at the use cases, you do have them. It's just a matter of figuring out how are we going to implement them. When you see things like what Lala World is doing, or even Omisego, banking the unbanked, bringing these things to the people that don't have it. These are real world use cases, and these are things that we need to focus on. Supply chain logistics, voting, right? All great use cases for blockchain. Some of the other ones, a little speculative, a little crazy, right? So moving on, let's just talk about some other news as well. I wanted to talk about two things that came up real quick. One is I completely missed it in all of the madness. There was this interview that came out with Rong Cheng from Elastos. The sound quality is a little whatever, but
when we talk about the internet, internet.
Basically, you guys can check this out if you're interested. I found it to be really good. Also, I wanted to talk about Skycoin. These guys have been in the news a lot recently, and we've seen a strategic cooperation agreement with Binance. Very, very interesting. So basically, they're going to be integrating with Binance so that the Skycoin software wallet, both desktop and mobile and hardware wallet, will support the storage and circulation of BNB. It will also become one of the many circulated currencies in the Skywire network. You'll be able to use it in Kitty Cash, which I guess is an app. They'll accept BNB. You have Samos, I think that's how you pronounce it. One of the ecological projects on Skycoin will also adopt BNB as a payment system as well. And then they'll also be circulating it for future applications developed within Skycoin. So that to me is quite interesting. Now, before we move on, I just want to give one quick shout out to Keith Waring. Keith Waring actually just shouted me out the other day. So kind of weird because he shouted me out for shouting him out. And now I'm shouting him out for shouting me out. It's kind of like Inception. But anyway, what I wanted to say was, first of all, congratulations, Keith. If you guys don't know, he's a crypto YouTuber as well. He just recently, he went to rehabilitation, for alcohol. And I just wanted to say, man, congratulations. By the way, I did have a segue. The reason I was going to segue into this is because he had an interview with the CEO of Skycoin. So I thought if you guys were interested, it would be like a really good place for you. Because there's been so much going on with that coin. It's been absolute madness. It's just a mess. But anyway, what I wanted to say, Keith, was thank you so much for being an inspiration and doing what you're doing and showing people that things can get better. And the reason that I wanted to point out Keith wasn't to shout out another fellow YouTuber, although seriously, you know, way to go, Keith. But what I really wanted to say was these are struggles that people deal with in real life. So I know Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and blockchains, guys, people can lose sleep over it. I've heard of some people get suicidal over it. Some people picking up bad habits, drinking too much because of, you know, I'm not going to mention any names, but I've heard people telling me that, you know, cryptocurrencies, they can't sleep. They're having difficulties eating, or they're eating too much. It's affecting them psychologically. So I just wanted to say, not that this is kind of a segue, but for anyone out there that maybe is having these types of issues as well, if cryptocurrencies, I'm not saying this is what happened with Keith, but if cryptocurrencies are affecting you, if they're changing you, guys, don't underestimate the importance of your family, of your health, your well-being, okay? There's so much more to life than just crypto. I know sometimes we think it's all about crypto. You guys come to my channel. I do appreciate it. Sometimes I think to myself, this is like sick how much I'm talking, like I'm obsessed with it, but I have a passion for it, and I do love it, and I do appreciate the tech, and I do think that there's still opportunities to make money, but please, guys, do not jeopardize your health, your wellness, your family over crypto. So, Keith, I just want to say, man, thank you for being an inspiration. I'm really proud of you for sobering up, and you're a really big inspiration to everybody out there in the crypto space, and definitely, guys, if you need help, if you need someone to talk to, if the markets, and I mean this seriously, if it's too much for you guys to handle, please talk to somebody, message me, join my Telegram chat, talk to Keith, talk to anybody, talk to a family member, okay? So I just want to say that. Okay, now that I'm like totally just down and made everybody really serious about it, I just want to say on a funny note, you could do what this guy did on Reddit, which is literally, he framed the BitConnect chart. He literally framed the BitConnect chart, put it on his wall, so that every day he wakes up and he can remind himself, it's not that bad. You could have bought BitConnect, right? Right? Could always be worse, guys. You could have bought BitConnect. Okay, so that being said, I want to say thank you so much for coming back to my channel. You guys are amazing. I know this was a stupid long episode. In fact, my camera actually shut off and I had to restart it at one point during the middle. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, guys. I wanted to make a little bit of an extra long episode today. I will be gone next week. I will be at the Blockchain Connect conference. I'm going to try to do some live streaming. If I can't, understand that that's why I'm not around. If the market crashes and I'm not around to make an update, I'm not ignoring you guys. I don't have a crystal ball and I won't be around. So that being said, guys, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Everyone that's been mashing on the like button, dropping me comments below, joining the Telegram chat. I love to, get involved, guys, get involved, There's other people out here that are going through this too. You're not alone, okay? This bear market isn't going to last forever. Could we go lower? Of course we can go lower. We can go a lot lower. But if that's all you're looking at is price, then I wouldn't invest any more money in crypto. I wouldn't. I would not put any more of your money into crypto if the only thing you're concerned about is price. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just not the way you want to look at things. So that being said, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. My name's K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. I love you guys. I freaking love you. And peace out.